Hey guys, this is Jonathan with Bi-vocational Ministry. I want to take a few minutes with you and do a Bible review of this Thompson chain reference handy size Bible. As you could tell from the box here, I did not get it at a normal price. I got it at a wholesale outlet. You probably know what that wholesale outlet is. And they had it on sale, and so I went ahead and decided to get one. I have wanted one of these for many years, and in fact, when I was still in Bible college, I was torn between the Thompson's chain or an actual minister's Bible. I ended up getting the actual minister's Bible, and but I've never owned an actual Thompson chain reference Bible. And this is the handy size. So it's handy size, lay flat. I got it in the KJV. That's what they had there. And this is the brown leather soft. See if I can get that focus. The brown leather soft. Again, it's handy size. I have pastors I've served with that do carry a Thompson chain, but they carry the full size version, which is actually quite large. This is much smaller and much more handy, hence the name. This is the back. There is the barcode. Let's see if I can get that to focus. Okay, that probably work right there. And now, when I go through this is just your basic preview of this Bible. Here is the back if you want to. Let's see if I can get it. Pause the video and read that. Okay. So, again, this is much smaller than the regular size Bible. And I want to get it out to you. Like I said, this is kind of just a preview. I've used this now for the last about month for my devotions. And I just want to tell you that I wish I would have had this Bible much earlier than when I had it. When I think about early on in my discipleship or early on in my studies, I would have loved to have a Bible like this. What I carried was a Thomas Nelson reference Bible, and I loved it. And I used it, and I loved the references and how I could just go, to go reference. And this is a bulkier version of that, and I really loved those, and I really wish I would have had something like this. Now, when it comes to discipleship, I usually do not recommend getting your normal study Bibles for new believers, and I'll explain that in another video. But this kind of study Bible with the chain references, I really, really like. So here is the presentation page with the King James Version. Of course, there's let me move this over here so you can see. Information there, and then here's all this has the beginning of the Bible, the preface to Thomas Chain Reference Bible. I'll link it in the description, but they do have a video of how to use the Thomas Chain system, and I will not go through that today, but I'll link it in the description below, and you can find that description. And but here it actually shows you how to do it. Explanation of the margins, text, encyclopedia, journey maps, etc. And all that's here in the front. Here's the books of the Old Testament, of course, and then the books of the New. All right, comprehensive Bible helps. Now, this is in the very back of the Bible. I'm not going to go through all of this, but I do want to get that close enough for you to see it and read it. How do I do this? Well, just kind of go through there. If you see something that interests you, and those are in the back. And I just, like I said, I really love that. All right, kind of gives you basic practical advantages of this Bible. Again, and just to kind of read a couple of these, they're adapted to all classes. The definiteness of the reference system, its suggestiveness, how to follow the chain, book studies, chapter studies, passage and verse studies, and then gives you how to do the pronunciation of names within it. Okay, and kind of gives you a picture here at the beginning, Old Testament, New Testament. And then here's Genesis. And as you can tell, the text is in the center. All the references are on the sides, or the the sides of the page, and so they're there. It does so. When I got the KJV, I got it in Thomas Nelson because their references included modern, updated translations of archaic words. So whenever I come to across an archaic word that I didn't know what it meant, I would look at the reference, and the reference would tell me what that word meant. This Bible handles it differently in the sense that in the back of the Bible, it actually has a King James dictionary. So if you come across a word that you don't recognize or it's archaic, most likely it's going to have a number beside it. And you go to that number in the back, and a lot of the time, most of the time, that will go to a King James dictionary, and you can actually find the actual definition of that word. So they don't retranslate it in a modern way for you to understand, but they give you a note to go to a page where you can find the actual definition of the word. And I like that. I like that because it made me, and I used it when I was using the Bible. I actually used it. So here's Genesis. And like I said, that's the text. That's the kind of format. It is a bit small. It doesn't bother me. I'm only 36. But if you're older, this might be a little bit small for you. And since we're at the beginning of the Bible, let's say you're reading here. For the most part, it stays open. And this is fairly new. So if I had it longer, I guarantee it would stay open very easily. And so you go to, and that has all the books of the Bible here. Of course, I'm saying stuff that's obvious. But you go through it. There's your Thomas chain reference system. Like I said, I will post a link where they talk about it. Of course, it gives years, different information here. Words of Christ in red. And then here, there's actually quite a few notes that talk about what's going on, what devotional qualities it has, and of course, numbers to the chain reference system, and also numbers to the notes and library system in the back. All right. So at the end of Revelation here, you have a complete system of biblical studies. 8 departments. First, you have the text encyclopedia. Okay, second, you have Bible readings. Third is outline studies of the Bible. Fourth is studies of prominent Bible characters. Fifth, Bible harmonies and illustrated studies. Sixth, archaeological supplement. Seventh, concordance. And eighth, colored Bible atlas. So there's quite a bit here. And actually, what I liked is it has principles of Bible study, and it talks about spiritual attitude indispensable, conscious need essential, first-hand knowledge is best, study the Bible as a traveler, seek to understand the deep things of God. And anyway, and here's different methods: a systematic method, topical method, biographical method, study of the books, study of the chapters and important passage, memorize some great verses. And then here is the comprehensive Bible helps. And then we have to start off here with a general index. This goes on for some time. Condensed encyclopedia of topics and texts, so you can go there and find information. I actually found this to be very beneficial because whenever I would go to a topic and it would have a number for this, I could go there and it would give me other verses that read into that, kind of like the chain reference system, but it's like the Bible interpreting the Bible. You've heard that the best interpreter of the Bible is the Bible, and that gives you a lot of those notes. And then it goes on and on and on. And as you can tell, we're at 3560. Okay, and then here is that. And if you look here, special Bible readings for private devotions, public services, but it still continues the numbering system. And then let me go through here real quick. Here is their view of the scriptures. This is the original manuscripts, early copies, and then they take that straight up to modern versions. And you can, this actually is a good picture of kind of how the different approach to the Bible that we have. This would be the approach of historic preservation, where they believe that you have early copies, and then ancient, but see how they're separated from the ancient copy of ancient copies, ancient versions, Vulgate, Wycliffe, Tyndale, Coverdale, Matthew, Great, Geneva, Bishops, King James Revised, American Standard. And you can see that where they believe it kind of continues. And then you have these modern translations that try to skip past all of that historical approach and go straight back to the early copies, and also pull from the Dead Sea Scrolls and newly discovered manuscripts. This is not a video about textual criticism, but that's kind of gives you some ideas of what of how they would approach that. Anyway, so here's English versions. You can read that on your own. Here's an Old Testament, a condensed outline. And then again, all these things. Here's books. These are book outlines, which are very helpful. Of course, now we're in the New Testament. Hebrews, Daniel. Those are character studies. Sorry, those are character studies. Portraits of Christ, Bible harmonies and illustrated studies. Okay, there's quite a bit of material here. I'll be honest with you, there's enough material here that you could spend many days, weeks, and probably years just kind of combing through all this material if you actually were following the references and doing all these studies. That's what makes this Bible a good Bible for a lot of preachers, is you have so much material here, and it's material that's historical. It gives you all the information you need to make a lot of good interpretation, and I really like that. I like this kind of study Bible. Okay, here's archaeological supplements. There's quite a bit here. I mean, if you look at all this stuff, just all this material. Okay, actually I'm going to go back here, because this is the glossary of Old English, Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek words from the King James Authorized Version of the Bible with present-day meanings. So a lot of times, instead of having the meaning right there beside the text or another translation, they send you to this here, and then you look it up in here. And you actually can either get it. Sometimes we'll have another translation, but also a definition that goes with it. Very helpful. Very helpful. Really appreciated that. And then you have your concordance, which is pretty standard. Index to the Scriptural Atlas. And here, list of maps. Anyway, you can go through all that. But quite a bit of material here. And then here's the maps in the back. And they are pretty decent maps. Alrighty, guys. This is just kind of a preview of the Bible. I've used it for about a month, and I've really appreciated it. I really appreciate it. Again, this is the handy size Thompson Chain Reference Bible. I hope this was beneficial. If it's something, a Bible that you would be interested in getting, I do think it'd be a tremendous resource for study, and I would always encourage it. But you guys have a great day. God bless.